Episode 7 of the BTB Project. Today's guest is one of the most profound distance and track and field runners ever from the state of Wisconsin. He ran at Wisconsin Lutheran between 2003 and 2006, where he was team captain, MVP, and two-time state champion. In 2006, he was the state champion in the 1600 and the 3200, respectively. After high school, he went on to run for the University of Wisconsin, where he contributed to the team's Big Ten Conference Championship. In 2022, he was inducted into the Wisconsin Track and Field Hall of Fame. David Pede, welcome to the BTB Project.
Don't be afraid of the dark. Be careful with stars. Not every light is gonna guide you, baby.
Welcome to the BTB Project, designed to empower listeners to identify their why and to live their best lives no matter the circumstances. My name is Coleman Gerhardt. A former athlete and motivational coach, I've had the opportunity to inspire thousands through my story and help accomplish what they are built to be. You'll be encouraged by each and every episode, and let's get into it.
Yeah, when I blow up, I'ma soar high like Peter Pan. In real life, be living out my dreams. If I'm waking up, it's in a foreign land.
David, welcome to the BTB Project. I am grateful to have you. How are you doing today?
Doing well, good sir. Thank you for having me on B2B.
No, absolutely. It has been quite a journey for both you and I, and I'd love to let the listeners in to how we really got here in the first place, right? So, came across each other at a training for a company that we were both working for, and I remember getting on the plane and going to Dublin, Ohio, and getting into a training room, and I saw a guy come in a few minutes late who was dressed pretty nice and had the hairdo, and I'm like, oh, looks like a pretty cool guy. And, all of a sudden, there was a seat next to me that was open, and you sat down, and I just remember.
To the right.
Yes.
I was in to the right of you. Yep. I remember.
I just remember you sitting down, and, at the time I was actually kind of bummed out because, leaving my family, and I know you're a family man too, and we'll get into that in today's episode. But I just remember, thinking about being bummed that I was going to be missing one of my son's races. My son runs cross country and track, and, as husbands and fathers, we got to go and we got to work. And I had this training, and you sat next to me, and I just remember seeing this big ring on your hand. Like, it looked like a Mr. T starter kit, like totally blinged out, right? And I looked closer at it, and I could see a W on it, and I recognized that W because from my tennis life, I knew that you were a Wisconsin Badger, and it looked like you accomplished something pretty cool. So I would love to start there. Can you tell me a little bit about why you were wearing that ring and maybe the history behind it?
Yeah, that was a ring from, it was a Big Ten championship ring. Yes, I competed for the Badgers in track and field, and that was for our track and field championship 2008. So when we had met, it was quite a few years later. Actually, it's half my life ago, so I feel a little weird wearing. I wear it because it's a good reminder of, I guess, a couple things. One, what I've done and where I'm at now. I got to admit, I used to not wear it because, like you said, it's noticeable. It's big. It looks like a mini Super Bowl ring. It's gaudy. It is. But a lot of my mentors and people I look up to have suggested to wear it for a few reasons. It's a good talking piece, which maybe got us talking. But I guess just remembering, what went into that. Now, I didn't have the greatest, most prolific college career, But in order to be in a spot to earn something like that, it is earned.
Yeah.
And so everyone in my life says, David, you should wear it because it's not like something that's just handed out. It's something that you worked hard for. You had goals you achieved and learned from. Despite, maybe lackluster college career, it still means a lot because of the lessons that went into it, the time management and grind. And so I wear it occasionally because, yes, it may be a talking piece, but it also lets people into a little bit of my past while letting them know some of the lessons that I learned along the way. And yes, it may be big and gaudy, but I think the lessons and talking points that I can share with other people are worth it. So
That's awesome. I mean,
reminder.
what a tremendous kind of testament of who you are as a person. There's so much to take away with, we were even talking about this before we hopped on today, is, falling in love with process over the accomplishment, right? And you being able to resonate with the hard work that you put in to be a part of that victory, I think is really cool. And I'd love for you to maybe dig a little bit deeper. I took away that piece where you said you had a mentor or a couple folks speaking into you that said, hey, you might have felt insecure wearing it sometimes, or you felt like, it was so long ago you didn't want to wear it anymore. Can you maybe talk about those mentors, maybe, how they've impacted your life, and, how did they, give you the trust enough in yourself to want to wear that and wear that ring proudly today?
Yeah, I would say being able to mentor people and be mentored is, if you're not there, get there.
It's a good tip for the listeners. Find a mentor.
Yeah.
Right?
Find a mentor. Whether it's business related or life related, definitely find a mentor. Someone who may be a little bit more senior, lived through things and want to give back. Find someone who has lived through stuff and is willing to share and help you be better. So, yeah, that's the initial lesson. As far as what mentors have said, I learned early on from my high school coach the lesson of humility. It happened because early in my running career, specifically my freshman year of high school, I had very good success. I was cocky, very cocky, and in being cocky, I lost friends and maybe some trust of people, maybe even teammates, I don't know. But my coach pulled me aside after a pretty tough workout and, gave credit where credit was due. He said, I'm doing great. Continue on. But, it's also lonely at the top. And wouldn't it be even cooler to share that experience with teammates and have, maybe not a individual championship, but a team championship? And so I think of mentors like, one of my account execs now, my high school coach.
Yeah.
People from church, where it's just, they put things into perspective. And especially, at a young age, I'm grateful to have had those people in my sphere, but I learned the lesson of humility earlier. And so,
and I want to jump back into those lessons of humility. And I know you were touching on high school, but I want to go back to your childhood. I mean, as I said in the intro, you are one of the greatest runners to ever step foot in the state of Wisconsin. And I know that you don't like to talk about achievements, and you like to talk about the process. I want you to walk us through your childhood and how running even came about. I mean, I know we're going to dabble into your high school and collegiate career, but can you maybe tell me a little bit about how it all started for you?
Yeah, good question, man. I have not many people ask about that, so that's very cool. I started running in 5th grade. I went to a parochial school that offered all types of sports, and I was a kid that was active. So I tried basically everything. I did wrestling, pitched for softball, started basketball in 3rd grade, did all types of intramural sports, basically anything that was offered, I tried out for. So cross country was one of those. They allowed us to start that in 5th grade. So I did, cross country in grade school from 5th to 8th grade. It was just, something I did basically in 5th and 6th grade. And I started realizing probably in 7th grade that I had some talent. I didn't realize until 8th grade that I was good. Yeah, I didn't realize I was good until 8th grade because I trained very minimally. I basically, when we had PE classes, I did the, 1.5 mile runs or whatever, but
Right.
every race I got into, I was winning. And so that's when it's kind of like, okay.
Now, did you have friends that also ran, or were your parents involved in being like, hey, like, I want you to dabble into this sport or this sport? What ultimately led you to, in 5th grade, start going after it?
No pressure from parents. I was just a kid that was active and tried everything out. And then I think once I started winning races in 8th grade.
Do you remember the first race you won?
It was the first race of 8th grade year. I don't remember where it was, but there was another guy on my team. He went to a rival grade school from kindergarten through 7th grade, and then his last year, 8th grade, came over for basketball purposes. Also was good at cross country, though. It's kind of weird. Yeah. Before the season, we're like, okay, I'll let you win this race, and then I don't even know why that came a thing. I won the first race, and then I let him win the second race, and then I won the third race, and then the 4th race was the championship, and so we just said whoever wins, and I won it. So it's not like I even had friends doing it. It's just, again, I was just super involved and realized that I, probably have a God-given talent here at about 8th grade when I just started to focus on training,
right,
and was winning races. So yeah, it was just kind of honestly, it was a God-given gift that just fell into my lap. I trained in 8th grade, but the success that I had kind of pointed me in the direction hey, you should probably use this talent.
No, absolutely. And when you kind of realized that you had this gift in 8th grade and were looking ahead at, running in high school, did you always have your eyes set on Wisconsin Lutheran, or were there other schools that you were looking at? I'd be curious to know, knowing you started to have some success, and obviously the recruiting aspect that shouldn't happen as much in high school, but I know it can happen amongst private schools. But when you made that decision to go run in high school, can you maybe tell me what led you to Wisconsin Lutheran, and did you have any other options?
Yeah, I wish I could give a cooler, hey, this David Pede guy was recruited, he was getting pulled. No. I knew I was going to Wisco. I knew I was going to Wisconsin Lutheran because my grandpa went there when it was called Lutheran High School. My mom went there. So I'm a 3rd generation. I knew I was going there. Thankfully, they had a competent young coach who was an ex-Badger as well.
There you go.
A national champion. He won a national championship.
Wow.
At the NCAA D1 level with the Badgers. Thankfully, came back home to Wisconsin Lutheran to shepherd the sheep runners there. And I just so happened to be right timing. I knew I was going to Wisco in 8th grade year. And in fact, I remember specifically, so there's cross country season where I knew okay, I've got some talent. But then later they had a grade school track race at the high school. And I won the mile I won in 7th grade. So I won the mile the 2nd year in a row. But I remember after the mile race, after I won, I went up to the coach, who I call coach. I went up to coach before he was my coach. And I asked him, when does the cross country season start? That's what I was thinking of. So I knew I was going to Wisco. I knew he was going to be my coach. He had heard about me. And I'm sure he's just like, he either probably thought like, who is this kid? Or he was just super excited to be like, I have this kid who's got like some decent talent that I can mold, and we've got 4 years coming up.
So it's amazing to hear
yeah.
as an 8th grader, you having that confidence to just go up and be like, hey, when's the start?
I didn't realize it though. I didn't realize that though, because I've heard him tell this story back.
Yeah.
He said it at like a end of the year senior, whatever, like end of the year, the team dinner or whatever.
Yeah.
I didn't realize it was that big of an issue, but my senior year, he said that, and he was like, little did we know 4 years later, David would come to do this, because he started off in 8th grade coming up to me after he won the mile saying, when's cross country season start, coach? Hearing that, it's cool, but like, I never would have remembered that. I wouldn't have remembered that if he wouldn't have said that, but that's cool that, just have that young eagerness,
Yeah. Yeah. And see, it's unique for me because my only concept of running, I like to do it as a more of a therapeutic between the ears, throw on a podcast or some music and get my 3.1 in, and
or training for tennis.
That's a good,
going,
yes, 100%. But what I've really started to resonate with, which allowed me to, again, understand that ring on your finger back at that training session, was the fact that, my son loves running, right? And it's
Caden. Mad shout out.
Yes.
You are doing a great job, man.
I appreciate.
I'm grateful to even know of his name and have had talks. He's in good hands, man. I know his new coach, you and his God, good kid, good outlook. I'm so excited to see, man, 2 years from now. Just imagine we're 2 years from his success freshman year, not only what he does this year, but imagine 2 years from now.
I mean, every day I'm holding on to the handlebars, and it makes me think of, that moment where you're talking about the confidence that you had as a runner, right? So I don't know if you
should have that.
Right?
I told him this.
That's right. That's right. And
he should know this. I gave him the blueprint, and he is better than I was at my he is killing my freshman mark, killing the freshman marks. If he stays the straight and narrow, keeps that focus, and as long as he still desires and wants to do it and has fun with competing at that level, he is going to do awesome things.
I appreciate it.
If we're talking about me in my,
we're talking about you, no doubt. But I think what would be really neat, and thank you so much. I appreciate that.
Yes.
But I want to get real here for a second, because I don't know if you knew this piece about my son, and I want to kind of reflect it back towards you and those moments to where you found that you have this gift in running, right? I want to go a little bit deeper than that moment. I want you to think back to, and I'll share my son's experiences. What got him into running, right? So he was pretty big into lacrosse, but he was always a smaller guy, okay? So the BTB project I have shared, and really the mission of what I'm doing, is had these moments in life where people were kind of picking fun at the way that I looked or whatnot, on the opposite end of what was going on with my son. My son was smaller, and he's playing lacrosse and just kind of getting,
probably can't gain a pound if he wanted to.
Yeah, exactly, man. Getting beat up on the field, and he just never really. I mean, he enjoyed playing lacrosse, but he never felt like, because of his size, that he was ever going to be good enough. And my wife found a cross training program through his middle school to start running. And this was right around 6th grade. I remember watching him run his first race. Okay. And it was a middle school race. And I saw this confidence, this presence to him that despite how he felt physically, he carried himself with so much confidence and passion and charisma that I knew that this was his calling. But when I'm talking about
the before and the after,
yeah,
he carried himself before the race, during the race, and after, it was just
you saw the
could
confidence.
sense it was his spot.
100%.
Yeah.
And
Cool.
to be
Very
honest,
cool.
in order for him to get to that place, he had to experience a lot of discouragement, a lot of letdowns, a lot of bullying, a lot of insecurity and self-doubt, trying to find an identity in something. I mean, it is a challenge in today's day and age to grow up as a kid. So
even more so. Yeah.
And going back to you, I always call it, scooping the coal into the train, and that's what allows the train to propel. I want you to talk about what made David Pede tick to get to that point of confidence to where you could go up to your soon to be high school coach and have that confidence. What were some of the coal scoops you had?
Man. What a good question. Good frame, too. I would say what kind of made up that situation is probably a little bit of excitement or curiosity and, hey, how far can I take this because I'm good at it?
Yeah.
But you don't really know what that means, especially when you're 13 or 14 years old. You have success. You don't really know. You don't have the whole perspective of it, but the curiosity of that probably is what brought me there. And the coals. I'm a people pleaser.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's how I was raised or my family dynamic, but
were you a people pleaser because how you grew up, you felt like there was more negativity than positivity, or did it feel good to be a people pleaser?
There was, I don't know if it was like a defense mechanism in spite of the negativity. I don't think it was necessarily that. I think it was more of, it feels good to serve others and to make other people feel good. So I think that's more where it came from. Just, I mean, I was raised in the church, and I say that like, at least knowing of Jesus and God. I mean, my grandparents and parents, at least mom, went to church. So maybe it was a little bit of that. Maybe it was maybe a little pat myself on the back. I was just a good boy, like I didn't get into a lot of trouble. I just, I don't know.
It's awesome. No, you should. Running probably kept you out of some trouble in some cases.
It's done a few things. It's probably gotten me into some trouble. It's definitely kept me out of trouble, and it's probably provided a little bit of cover for trouble as well. Yeah, a little bit of that.
So let's. I
mean, I wasn't a bad kid by any means. Not malicious with any intent. I would say, just chalk myself up to be a normal boy born in '87. Living through the '90s and going through high school in early 2000s.
And let's go right back there to 2003. You're a high school guy. Tell me about the transition from finding this gift and running as an 8th grader and your freshman and sophomore year at Wisconsin Lutheran.
Man. Well, 8th grade is when I realized I had a talent. 9th grade is when it was put into practice.
Kind of continuing the timeline of your running development and your development as a teenager and your confidence, going into freshman and sophomore year at Wisconsin Lutheran. how was that transition for you? And, you know, what were some of maybe the challenges that you had or success that you had as you were progressing into high school running?
Yeah, 8th grade, it just kind of was a realization like, hey, you got a God-given talent here. Freshman year, I didn't want to ruffle any feathers. Obviously, I was amped to join the team. I, talked to the coach ahead of time, but, we had a senior captain, a couple juniors who have been on the team, a couple everyone who's made varsity beforehand. I made varsity my freshman year, and I don't know, I think like the first 3 to 4 races, I finished like second or third on the team, somewhere around there.
Was it hard on the upperclassmen to have a freshman come in like you and finish?
Were you reading my mind, man? Because I was just gonna say.
Were you offending? Were you offending the upperclassmen?
Look, I didn't realize it. I didn't intend to. I was like, hey, we're a team. So the first race, it was like the 4th or 5th race of the season, just a regular season meet. But I placed first for our team. I beat our senior captain. I think it might have been at Ripon College, actually. And what freaked me out is I saw his reaction at the end. And he just screamed, ah! And he went like this. And we have a great relationship. Brad Cook, initially, as a senior to be beaten by, it was nothing against me. It was just, I don't know if it was a pride check or whatever, but he came back to me and said, yeah, it sucks that, I got beat, but dude, you're my teammate. And so let's do this thing. It was, yeah. And I don't blame him, dude. Imagine you going through and you're like, dedicate your time freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, and now you're a senior and you're the captain of a team to be beat by a freshman. Not that I was even like a cocky but yeah. Just that, put yourself in those shoes. I can imagine it'd be hard, but he was so resilient. He changed his tune so quick. I did not take offense at all. At my young age, I thought he was hurt. I thought he like pulled a hamstring or something. But he quickly told me he said sorry, and I was like, dude, I don't even know why you're saying sorry. He said sorry for his reactions, and then it was just, I think that bonded us even closer. So I think the next race actually was our conference championship. I was still a freshman. Someone ended up winning. I placed second. He placed third. A junior placed fourth. So, it was a good team effort. The transition, once I found out and I was beating seniors, I never looked back. I never looked back. My sophomore year, I was winning races. I actually won our sectional meet, which is all your normal regular season races, your conference championships, and then you got sectionals to go to state. Actually, let me backtrack because you were talking about some of the hurdles and stuff. So freshman year, I did have great success, but I missed state as a freshman because I got outleaned. Someone outleaned me at the line. I missed the extra. So I placed 9th. And I think it's I think they take the top 5 individuals without a team, and then the top 2 teams. And so where the cutoff is that 8th person was the last individual. So I got outleaned for that last spot at state by 0.8 seconds. 0.8.
Oh my goodness.
That's in cross country. Fast forward, I'm a freshman. I played basketball from 3rd grade through 8th grade. Basketball is my favorite. I love to watch basketball. I love to play basketball. I probably maybe like to watch football more. I don't know. We're kind of in March Madness now, though.
Seeing all your Milwaukee Bucks posts. You're a basketball fan.
It's good. It's a good time to be a Bucks fan. But no, so I missed state by 0.8 seconds in cross country in fall my freshman year. I went out for the basketball team, made it. So I was not running in the winter. And then come track season, I qualified for the 2 mile. I missed the extra qualifier by exactly 1 second. The extra qualifier ran a 9:40.8. I ran a 9:41.8 as a freshman. So,
Wow.
yes, I had success as a freshman early, but to miss a cross-country state championship by 0.8 seconds in cross-country, and then exactly a second for track in a 2-mile, laser focus, man. I crushed that summer mileage, that base. I came out, I won sectionals for cross country my sophomore year, qualified for state in the 2-mile, ended up getting on the podium as a sophomore. I don't remember the time, but yeah, got on the podium at state. You know, from eighth grade, I basically went from, hey, realizing you've got some talent, to freshman year, trying to figure it out, having some success, falling short when it actually mattered, and then to sophomore year, I made the podium. I got 5th or 6th at state in cross country, and then 6th in the 2-mile. So
wow,
pretty quick turnaround.
Yes.
8th grade, 7th, 8th grade to sophomore year.
So you played one season of basketball, and then that was it?
Just one. Just one. I did. Sophomore year after cross country, I made state. I got
What position? What position were you?
Like a 2 guard, like shooting guard.
Nice.
I was tiny. I never led the ball down. Never was a point guard. Typically a 2.
Okay.
Shooting was like the 3-pointer. Pretty good handles. Good speed. Never got tired, man. Never got tired. I was running down playing defense, getting down on offense, tiring out defenders. But yeah, I didn't play a lot. I did not play a lot. If I could go back and if I knew what I knew now, I would not have gone out for freshman basketball, and I guarantee I would have made that state that 2-mile my freshman year. I guarantee it. But hey, lessons learned.
Yes.
And I wouldn't. You know what? If that wouldn't have happened, I maybe wouldn't have had the same grind, and maybe I wouldn't have been there my junior and senior year or where I'm at. So
and that's where I want to go.
It is what it is.
That's where I want to go next.
Yep.
Is listen, you type in David Pede in the Google search, and you can find very maybe not, yeah, but maybe not. But when it comes to your running, 2005 and 2006 were very special years for you, and you did some things not only individually but as a team that were borderline remarkable. I would love for you to walk us through those 2 years, and also to share about what you did in the 1600 and the 3200, what you remember from that time in your life.
I guess pulling it back from what I had said earlier with my coach saying, David, it's lonely at the top. Yeah, you're awesome. You're doing awesome. But you want to have your team there. Basically, Wisconsin Lutheran cross country, I don't think had made a state championship for the WIAA cross country championships ever until 2005. So we had a pretty good team. Me, another guy in my class, really good junior, one class below me. So actually the sophomore class had about 3 or 4 guys. You score your top 5. And so I think junior was more of like a, hey, we've got the talent. Let's see how good and how far we can go. My junior year was really fun because you started to finally see my coach's time and effort paying off, not for him, but also for us. It was just fun. And you could tell by the types of workouts we were doing, not individually, but now some of it, we're starting to do it together. Even some of the guys were jumping into my workouts, maybe not going as many reps or as far, but the fact that they're still jumping in with me at that pace or that distance was very cool.
Did you feel like you were the leader of that team at that point, being a junior? Yeah.
I felt like I was the leader of the team as a freshman, my freshman year. And nothing against our senior captain, Brad. Love him and will not take away anything he's had, but that's sports. I mean, whoever is executing or your top mark, I mean, you've got the respect. It is what it is. So I had that my freshman year. So now when we're at our junior year, I was named captain. we had decent incoming freshman class too. So I would say, you only scored top 5, but I think we had a solid 7, at least for Wisconsin Lutheran running compared to what we'd ever done.
Yeah.
For me to come into that program in 2002, where we hadn't done anything, to my senior year, we missed. So I think the top 2 teams get trophies, first and second. We missed second place by 3 points to Kenosha Tremper. 3 points after not having ever been to the state championship 3 years prior. I made it as an individual my freshman year. I don't know about that one. Well, basically, to go from nothing to getting 3rd place in the state, and at that time we raised Division I.
Yeah.
And also at that time we were, I think, the 5th smallest Division I school in the state.
Wow.
A parochial school. We only had 800 students. Like my graduating class had 118.
Wow.
Something like that.
How many were on the team?
We had, let's say, about 20 guys.
Wow.
Which was a change from my freshman year too. Which and I didn't realize this, but my coach has given me a lot of credit for bringing and putting Wisconsin Lutheran cross country on the map. He's like, the amount of guys that we're getting now it started because we were having success with me.
Ah.
And we made it fun, and
Yeah.
we recruited people. So yeah, I think that senior year, I think we had about 20 to maybe a little like 17 to 23 guys, probably somewhere in there. 7 to 8 guys run varsity, and then everyone else is, either like a flex or JV, but pushing the last guy. Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. So in 2005 and 2006, you as a team won state titles, correct?
No.
Okay.
No. We made state in 2005, I think, for the first time ever in program history.
But as an individual, you won a state championship in 2005, right? Can you tell me about the state championships?
No.
You won individually. Look at that.
For track and field.
Yeah,
I
okay.
never won in cross country.
I gotcha.
I missed by 0.8 seconds my freshman year.
This gentleman that you
country
have run against, my understanding, doing some history, is there's kind of a rival per se that you were kind of going back and forth with. Can you maybe speak to that rivalry, who this individual is, and the story there, man?
Seriously, I feel so grateful to have had a competitor during my time. His name is Andrew Perkins, ran out of Watertown in the same conference too. So it's not like, you saw him once or twice a year during championship time. I saw him in cross country, indoor track, outdoor track. He was 2 years younger than me. I think he was about the age of a year younger than me, but still 2 grades younger than me. Came in and man, I won the conference meet my sophomore year. I didn't win my junior year, senior year. Andrew Perkins comes in. I'm a junior. He wins cross country conference his freshman and sophomore year, my junior and senior year.
Did he have the same confidence and swagger as you did when you were a freshman and sophomore, and now you're a junior and
I can't speak to that. I can't speak to that. And not because I don't want to get in trouble. I didn't know it. I didn't know him like that,
Right.
I just knew of him. Maybe not freshman year, maybe sophomore year, but I don't even blame him because you got to come in with that confidence, like this is my course or this is my track. So I don't hold, if he came in with that, I didn't feel it. Definitely a cool spot to be in. Definitely made me better because on the back end, if you're winning conference meets at a young age, or you're probably very easy to kind of cakewalk that stuff in. But if you know that there's another guy in your conference that's got your number, that's going to cause you to train harder.
Yeah.
And then it just trickles down. It makes your teammates better. But no, I'm grateful for him. 2 cool years of competition. Speedster. got a kick like crazy, man.
Where did he end up going to college?
University of Northern Iowa, UNI.
And
think
did
he
he
did
did he
more like
run
that-
did he run in college?
I don't know about cross country. I believe he did more like the half mile, like the 800 meter.
I appreciate you walking us through, junior and senior year, and I want to kind of pivot towards that moment when you realize that, hey, I can do this in college. And I know that Wisconsin is where you ended up. Were there any other schools that you were looking at, or did you want to kind of continue the legacy of your coach and, being a Wisconsin native? I mean, this is sounded like home from the get-go for you.
Yeah. So senior year, I won the mile and 2 mile.
What were your
At
times,
state.
if you don't mind sharing to the listeners? Was it a 4:11 in the 1600?
I PRs for the 1600 were 4:11,
And then the 3200, I had a 909.
909,
Yeah.
909. So yeah,
Wow.
411.8 and 909.8, I believe. So yeah, I mean, you win the state championship. I ended up being nominated or awarded by the Wisconsin Track Coaches Association as the 2006 Male Track Athlete of the Year. Have multiple record holders, but to go to Wisconsin, yes. So I was recruited by Iowa State, the Naval Academy, Air Force Academy, Wisconsin, and talked to some other colleges. Kind of considered the Naval Academy and military and Air Force Academy. My dad was in the military. To be recruited by establishments like that is really cool. Maybe I would consider the Naval Academy again, just college career played out, but I am so grateful to have been a Badger. And you're totally right. My coach ended up being a Badger and winning a national championship there, but he was the roommate of Jerry Schumacher, who was the head coach of the Badgers at the time. So,
yeah. Wow.
I had that affiliation, and no, I always wanted to be a Badger deep down. Your home state, your family can watch you. Drive 70 minutes west. Yeah, you considered going out of state a little bit, but family's important.
Yes.
I love the Badger. Yeah, I decided. What did LeBron say? I've decided to take
my talents.
Take my talents to the shores of Madison or the beach of Madison. Yeah.
So listen, it is unbelievable what you did as far as your accolades in running. But as I've gotten to know you, David, one thing that I am really taken back by and what resonates with me the most about you is your perseverance and grit. And I know that you mentioned that you had a lot of confidence in running and achieved a tremendous amount of success, but talking about your education, I know that, things didn't go as planned while you were in college. You really had an opportunity to step away from academics and just get into the real world. And all of a sudden you came back and ended up getting your degree. Can you maybe speak a little bit to the listeners about, and you described it as grit. Out of all you did as a runner, how did that equate to you being able to find the grit to finish your degree?
Yeah. The year I was recruited by the Badgers in 2006, they won the NCAA Division I national championship. So they were the Alabama football, whatever. Like, they were the team. So the fact that I was even being recruited, let alone my own home state, that's awesome. With that, I went to college with probably the wrong motives. I was like, look, I can compete at this high level and, I get a Big Ten education. That's just, an added bonus on top. Unfortunately, I didn't go into school with the right focus. Probably running wise, definitely academic wise. So yeah, I had to drop out. I was out of school for probably 2.5 years. Learned a lot during that time.
Yeah.
yeah, move back in with the parents, and oh man, I'll say it. I worked at Blockbuster for like 9 months, and then a metal, that doesn't even exist anymore, and then a metal fabrication shop. So like working on the shop floor, like soaking up the shop dust and everything. I've been with my now wife this whole time, and you want to be more and be better for your significant other. So yeah, I wouldn't say wrong reasons, but just I didn't focus on education that much, so I had to drop out, move back home, and yeah, you learn a lot about yourself because you envision yourself competitor or this whatever that is, and when that's taken away, it's kind of like, well, what are you? Like, who are you?
Right.
I decided you got to change your mindset and be better for those around you. So yeah, I was out of school for 2.5 years, ended up getting stuff. Long story short, I finished years. I graduated from UW while commuting. I did not live in Madison, so I commuted from Milwaukee to Madison, about 70 minutes each way. Got it done.
Yeah.
And not only that, the year I graduated, 2015, in sociology, at the time, UW Wisconsin's sociology department was ranked #1 in the nation. I think tied for first with UC Berkeley and Harvard. So to graduate from get your bachelor's from an established university where the program that you graduated in is ranked #1 in the nation is very cool. So yeah, it's weird to go from runner mindset mentality, like embodying that persona or livelihood, if you will, to whatever pride you got left, moving back home, working at Blockbuster, living with mom and your little brother, to then finishing your last 2 years while commuting at, with a degree from, that's the best in the nation. And I used to chalk it up like, sociology is kind of a frou-frou degree. Some may even still say,
hey, mine was recreation and leadership studies. So if you want to have a pound for pound battle on frou-frou degrees, I'm right there with you. And
hey, you might have to I might have to give you that, because sociology, it's lending itself pretty well here in 2023.
Right.
Understanding how groups of people act and behave. Yeah. It's lending itself very well. So no, yeah, we're good now. So
I know you mentioned your wife. Part of the training session that we got to be in with the company we were working for, being able to have that exercise where we're tasked to share a memorable story. And I just remember the story of how you met your wife and the Abercrombie and Fitch days, and being able to walk down memory lane and hear that story. I would love to hear how, as you mentioned, you got this runner's mindset, you have your accolades and success, you go to the education piece, you had to make some transitions and adjustments, of which then eventually led you back, and through grit, you graduate. But the whole time you got this girl by your side that ends up,
this kind lady who's willing to give me some attention.
Yes. Being your wife. Can you kind of speak to how she supported you through your built to be journey, and what did that mean to you to have that support during those times?
Yeah. I wouldn't be where I'm at without her. And I'm just thankful that she's got a spine to even say something like this. But she said, I want more for you and I want more for me. You need to finish your degree. She's like, I don't care if that's from Madison or you go to UWM or wherever, but like, she's like, you're too close. Like, you put in too much work to not. And so we started dating middle of the year of 2007. So when we're talking, we fast forwarded here till 2012, mid 2012, maybe late 2012, because I went back to school in 2013. So yeah, it was because of her. And I owe it to her. And yeah, I mean, now fast forward, we've been together for coming up on 16 years, married for coming up on 6.
Wow.
We've got two kind, healthy, energetic boys.
What's harder, being
2023.
beat out by 0.8 seconds in a
Ooh.
race, or to clean a diaper?
0.8 seconds. I'll clean diapers all day, man. That ain't nothing. The dude had a fro too. I still don't know his name, but this white dude had the biggest fro, and I think he was a senior too. So what are you doing picking on a little freshman like that? I'll clean
Man.
diapers any day. Just let me get to stay my freshman year just to see what I can do, man. I'll clean blowouts. Let's go. I want that race back.
That's right. Nah, the support of your wife, hear that. I mean, it resonates obviously with me as well. I'm 12 years into marriage, and my wife has, pushed me to do things that I never thought I would do. And even though I accomplished a lot as an athlete, and did not do it alone, has been a huge blessing. So to hear,
You can't even put a price on it or words. Like, to have someone that's in your corner, truly has your back, loves you, wants to see you succeed, not for their own benefit, but for you. And yes, it may trickle down to them. Like, if you've got that true teammate, it's like, it's priceless. You can't, and the help and everything that comes from that is amazing. Just grateful that women that are God-fearing and willing to be in our lives, right, and put up with us.
right.
It's a miracle in of itself.
Right. And listen, I mean, it's also led to, you've had tremendous success in business and learning how to navigate people and decision making and helping build business. I'm super proud of you for that. But I want to finish today with going back to 2022. Okay. And, this accomplishment that you had as being inducted into the Wisconsin High School Hall of Fame in 2022. I get a little choked up saying that because of what I know about you. And even in this conversation, I'm learning, some new things that I didn't know, but knowing your heart, and as you mentioned, how important family is, right? Can you tell the listeners what it meant to you to receive that award, and just what was going through your mind as we talked about? It's not about the accolade. It's not about the moment on the mountaintop. When you go back to receiving that award last year, what about that moment made you think about the process? What was going through your mind at that point?
I think despite holding multiple records, being a two-time state champ, being named the Athlete of the Year, also named for the Hall of Fame for my high school's cross-country team, but the track Hall of Fame, what you're talking about, I mean, that's at the state level. The Wisconsin Track Coaches Association nominated me. It's a little weird because I feel like, it's almost half my life ago. I'm not at a competitive level, I'm not getting out there. So it's a little, obviously it's cool to receive, but after, going through the nomination process, being at the event and really seeing my coach and his wife, that's what made it important for me. I view my induction into the Wisconsin Track Hall of Fame more as a win for Wisconsin Lutheran, and more specifically my coach. I think he poured time away from his own family because he has 3 boys as well, a little bit younger than me, and a wife. His time, energy in coming up with race plans, or actually staying after with me because my practice went longer or whatever. Just all the energy, time, attention, passion, whatever you have as a coach, whatever he felt, I feel like it was more of an award for him. Like, yes, my name's on it, but like, dude, I wouldn't have been there if it wasn't for him. And I made sure to let him know during my thank you speech. Forget it. I literally said at the podium, I said, Coach, we did it or we made it.
Ah,
Because it's not me. And it's not really even a me and him thing. It's me, him, and God. Because
yeah.
what kind of young man is going up and not in an arrogant way, but talking to a future coach saying, hey, I'm excited for cross country at the age of 13, and to see that come full, what was that? 20, when I was over 20 years from the time where I said, coach, I can't wait for cross country season, to the point where he's sitting at the front table when I'm receiving a Hall of Fame induction. Yes, my name's on it, but it's not about me. I'm just super glad and happy that my coach has tangible something. If it helps him feel more fulfilled, or and me and him have a great relationship as it is, and I don't think he's much of like a trophy stacker type thing. I think he's been coaching for over 30 years, 25 years. To have one of your students or athletes not only coach them to compete at that high level, but to also achieve and be recognized, I was the most happy for him. I really was.
That's awesome.
I babysat for his kids. Like, so it was more of like I'm grateful this happened so that it could honor him in his time and also bring honor to Wisconsin Lutheran.
Excellent.
As for me, like I said, yes, it's nice to receive, but it was half my life ago. I don't compete now. I felt a little bit disassociated from it. I hope it meant a lot to my coach, and that it brought, and not that he even needed it, but I hope that just added to him.
And I'm sure
that was the coolest part about the Hall of Fame.
I'm sure that it did. And, you know, being a coach myself, the best recognition is not a compensation. It's the it's the thank you cards. It's the wedding invites. It's the,
he was at my wedding.
Exactly.
He was there.
Being able to,
and he's still around.
Yeah. And that's awesome. And, you know, I think what I'd like to do to finish today is, you've shared quite the journey, David. And I think, you know, running was a small piece of it. It was one that you were heavily accoladed for and was a part of your life.
Yeah.
But my last question,
taught me lessons and made me who I am.
Exactly. And that's my last question for you is, what you did was a long time ago, and you've seen today's youth and you know the times in 2023. If you had an opportunity.
These kids are fast, man. Pede,
hey,
you're blitzing it, baby.
Listen.
These kids are fast.
Listen.
Hey, I used to have, I may still be in the top 20. I used to have like the 15th or 16th fastest mile and 2 mile in Wisconsin history, and I don't think I'm in the top 20 anymore.
Okay, let's say it's your 16-year-old self. All right, you're sitting down. You're sitting down at a coffee shop with 16-year-old David Pede, knowing what you know now. What is the pitch or advice you would give a 16-year-old knowing what you know?
Yeah, I will say, be humble in whatever you do. I mean, I probably attribute that to running, but I mean, that comes in career as well. No one likes to work with someone that's arrogant or, you know, braggadocious or like me. Even if you have success, probably not by your own doing. You got a team that supports you, or, you know, so I guess try and take a step out of the box and view the bigger picture, or maybe view life like there is no box, and just try and see, you know, it's hard to learn the lessons and get the whole scope when you're in it. But if I could tell my 16-year-old self, like, take a second, it's not about you.
Yeah.
Look at the bigger picture, think long-term, think about how you can serve others or help others along the way, because everyone naturally is going to take care of themselves with whatever actions you take. If you can help people along the way, that's where you win. And you've nailed it. We've talked about my accolades in running, going back to school, the family I have, you know, work. It's about people.
Yeah.
And if you can help people, whatever that means. Like, if it's encouragement, if it's, you know, monetarily, if it's, you know, curbing someone, maybe we need some more real talk. Maybe it's like, not even calling someone out to call someone out, but to call someone out to
Accountability. Yeah.
I struggle with, because, I got a 3.5 and a 1.5-year-old, 2 sons and a wife. So I'm trying to tend my own fields, but at the same time, we're called to, help others and those around us. And so
Yes.
one word, tell my 16-year-old self: selflessness.
Beautiful.
Selflessness. When you're younger, very hard to do. Because it's just, everything's changing. You're just worried about trying to understand how to navigate the world and all that. But my younger self, get into helping other people as much or wherever you can. And that doesn't have to be money. That could be just, you don't even have to do anything other than listen. Sometimes it's just listening. Sometimes it's listening and offering solutions. Sometimes it's your time, or be open to the opportunities when they present themselves to be selfless.
It's awesome. And I know that you're just like me. Selflessness. And I can't thank you enough for joining me on the BTB project. That's the mission.
Thanks for having me.
For what I'm doing, for what we're doing. And there are so many people that are going to be inspired by just who you are, accolades aside, but more importantly, who you are as a person. So I'm proud of you. And listeners, this is, again, just more and more influencers and folks that I've come across in my life that are going to continue to encourage you and to inspire you. I know that you found this impactful. Impossible is nothing. Let's do this together. I'll be looking forward to the next one.